today's case study is coming from a travel agency in Perth, and the business owner says, I run a boutique travel agency and our weekly meetings tend to focus on internal staff issues, systems, processes and marketing. Now they want tips on how to run their meetings more productively. So who better to address that than Chi Wong from Expert Messaging. We've got Stephan Jennar from Telus Partners, and we've got Alicia Menkveld from Radical Consulting. Let's meet the panel. Chi, Stephan and Alicia, welcome to Nifnex TV, and we're going to discuss the case study which you have with you. So can we do a quick introduction from Chi, please?
Thanks very much, Shazan, for having me here for this discussion panel. Chi from Expert Messaging Australia. We deal primarily with emails, so we consult for large to medium businesses to teach them how to be more productive on emails and other digital tools that organise their daily operational lives. One of the things that really struck me about this case study, Shazan, was the number of emails that people get these days and how that conflicts with face-to-face meetings. So very easy to start doing things on emails when it should be done face-to-face, and that's what we find a lot of within the clients that we work with. So a lot of the things I talk about will be about picking the right mediums and when it's appropriate to use emails and when it's not appropriate to do so. Yeah.
Cool. No, look forward to discussing that more. Stephan.
Stephan Jennar from Telus Partners. We help redefine the organisation, so we're very, very much about processes. So we'll really focus and drill in to the way the meeting actually runs and what the outcomes are of the
From a holacracy perspective.
From a holacracy perspective.
Alicia.
Alicia Menkveld from Radical Consulting, and we consult to small and medium-sized businesses on marketing strategy. From my side, obviously, I will be talking about marketing and ideas and how you can get the most out of your marketing meetings.
Yes.
From my perspective, they don't necessarily have to be part of the general staff meeting because you need to choose your team of marketing experts in your company quite wisely.
Yeah.
Because everyone normally seems to have an opinion on everything.
Sure. So to get right into it, what you're suggesting is keep a staff meeting separate to a marketing meeting, is that correct?
It depends very much on the meeting. For
Yeah.
me, there's two types of meetings. There are strategic meetings where you pretty much want your management team to be part of that because it's about deciding the broad strokes about where what is going. And then from there, you also have possibly individual promotional meetings. And there, sometimes it could be a good idea to get some of the staff that actually works with that specific sector to come in on that meeting because they work with it every day and they look at it with fresh eyes and they could possibly actually have really good ideas that they can add to the promotional campaign.
Yeah.
For me, it's also, from a management point of view, I think it's important that the management would obviously share the business vision and the marketing vision with the rest of the team. If you're left in the dark, you can't get excited about what you're working on.
The people on the ground staff, they're pretty much involved with everything that's happening, and it's good to get their perspective from sales or even the marketing perspective. So.
Yep.
But do you find that people don't understand the word marketing? And so when you have a marketing meeting, people bring everything to it.
Absolutely.
Rather than what you're really talking about.
And that's something you said earlier, which is about the outcomes. If I had to distill it down to 4 points, it's about, number one is about clarity. So it's who's in the meeting, what's the outcome that we want from this, what's the agenda, so what are we going to discuss here, and what's the aim of this specific meeting.
Yeah.
There's so many aimless meetings in life,
Yeah.
and people just pitch up and we're here for 2 hours and it's great because I'm not at my desk, but at the end of it we still don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So number one is clarity for me. Number two would be your systems and your processes. What are you using in your company? Is there actually anything to make it easier? There's, for instance, lots of project management tools out there. I personally use Basecamp, for instance, and it's to put all your to-do lists and all your tasks on there so that everybody is on the same page all the time.
Yeah.
There's also other systems where you can set up campaigns and appointments like Infusionsoft and many other systems. That was point two. Point three would be progress. I'm all about progress. So where are we at? Where are we going? When's the deadline? Okay, and who's responsible for what? And which brings me to action. You guys will agree there's so many meetings and we talk and it's beautiful, and a week later, a month later, 6 months later, still nothing has happened.
The good bondings happen within the team.
So I think, and then like with Chi, with your expert, I think you can easily follow up with email if everybody is on the same page, you know, and just short progress meetings.
Perfect. So thank you, Alicia. So Stephan, from your point of view, I guess this particular client who's running the travel agency, now they have these internal meetings to discuss issues and systems, marketing as we discussed, and processes. Now how do we sort of make them more productive using the holacracy angle or approach?
So holacracy basically provides you a set of rules for the first time on how to run a business. Okay, and core part of those rules are around the meeting structures.
Yeah.
So we define in holacracy 2 types of meetings: the operational meetings, or the tactical meetings as we call them, and the governance meetings. And they're about the tactical meetings are really around synchronising everybody on the work that has to get done, and the governance meetings are around synchronising the organisation and transforming the organisation, should I say, into being able to absorb that work and get it done efficiently. Okay.
So where would the marketing fit into that?
Marketing becomes just another part of the structure. It just turns around and it would have its own tactical meetings and its own governance meetings. Right?
Okay.
The big thing around holacracy is those meetings are very, very structured. We have definitions in tactical at the very beginning. It's all about uncovering the data, finding out what information's there. Agendas are built on the fly, so they're not pre-agended meetings, so they're quite dynamic. And the only thing that's minuted in a tactical meeting are the actions and projects for the outcome. So you get clear steps forward.
I love it.
Okay. The governance meetings are a little bit more complicated and probably don't have time to go into them now, but they are about people having issues about the way the organisation is currently structured and an outcome coming out changing the way the organisation is structured in a way that's safe, that ensures the organisation continues to fulfil its purpose. Okay, we're talking very big topics here, but from my point of view, people are never trained on how to behave in a meeting. I can tell you, I've been to lots of business. I've done an MBA and I've done spent years in different organisations, etc. I've never had a training course on how to conduct myself in a meeting. Okay, that's what we teach. We teach people how to be in a meeting, how to structure the conversation correctly, and then also allow the meeting to be a really safe place that people can have safe conflict. And clear outcomes from those conflicts, so everybody feels that there's movement forward. Not necessarily they're all happy, but that there's movement forward and we're addressing the issues, etc.
Safe conflict, that's a good one.
Yes, very much so.
So I guess talking about conflict, emails got a large part to add.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to talk about conflicts, it all comes from emails, I guess. I guess these days, a lot of the meetings are sent via emails. That's where we need to capture the information and put it into our calendar or our paper-based diary system, whatever we use. So I guess for the business owner or whoever's organising the meeting, one of the most important things is to understand how the team works. Some people haven't made the transition to digital yet. They're still using paper-based diary system, and just accept it. It's very, very hard for people to change. Whereas other people are very comfortable with Outlook or Google Calendar and so forth. So for the business owner, it's important to acknowledge that, I think. Once we get past what system we use, I guess we need to set down a set of procedures and policies that people will follow. And for the business owner, what I've found that works in the past is spending a little bit of time on thinking about what the actual outcomes are for the meeting. Some of the foremost expert in meeting sort of training recommends that if it's going to be a 1 hour meeting, whoever's organising the meeting should be spending about 1 hour in preparing the meeting and just thinking through every dot point, every possible action outcome. That's right, that comes out of it. In some way, you've already had the meeting in your own mind before you walk into the meeting. So I've actually practiced this from time to time, not every time, but certainly for the more complicated or for those meetings that involve a lot more people than just your smaller meetings. I've practiced this and it seems to work very well. So certainly preparation is a big part of having a successful meeting. I find a lot of people just 15 minutes before the meeting jot a few things down on paper, and it's no wonder that the meeting drags for hours with zero outcome and zero results.
So you're saying you need to prepare the agenda and everyone needs to be communicated by email or notes?
Absolutely.
Some system.
Probably a few days beforehand.
Few days.
Throw it into an email or put it into your calendar.
Yeah.
The calendar in Outlook and Gmail allows you to put notes in there so that everyone gets a copy of that. Yeah.
I think you keep a key point there, Chi, and that is somebody needs to own the meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, in holacracy we have a facilitator role specifically about ensuring that they keep everybody on track of the meeting.
Yeah.
And that facilitator is not usually the owner or the key power person. It is a person that is entrusted with making sure the meeting keeps on track and has the ability to turn around and say, no, we're off track now, we need to get it back on track.
Yeah.
And I think that's a meeting owner that is going to facilitate. Really good.
I just have a question for you guys. I was thinking about these meetings, and obviously you can have a generic staff meeting, or you can have a marketing meeting specifically, or more a one where you deal specifically from an HR point of view with staff issues and all that sort of things. My opinion is that I think that if you pick your topic, whether it's staff issues or whether it's marketing or whether it's whatever the case might be, is possibly more effective. What's your opinion on that?
I think it does need to be that. I mean, we see the organisation is split up into 4 main areas, and one of the areas is the organisational space, where the meetings there are around the organisation and what it's doing. So whether it's a marketing specific meeting or a sales or a operational meeting, etc. But it has to be specific, okay? Because otherwise there's too much stuff going on. And then we also have a place called the tribal space, which is the place where the tribe is, because once you get a bunch of people together, you are going to have personality conflicts, etc. We think that those should be totally separate from the operational and the organisation's space, etc.
Yeah, so just from our case study perspective, the question was, we have these general staff meetings and we discuss all of these things. So I guess from Stephen and like all of our perspectives, it's maybe better to sort of break them up into smaller meetings.
So have more meetings then.
Yeah,
but you've got to be careful. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, people get really worried. Oh, we're going to have all these meetings now.
No.
But if you structure the meetings and make them really succinct,
15
like our tactical meetings are about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There's some really good stuff around stand-up meetings.
Yeah.
You know, 911s. They're called 911s, where 9 minutes at 11 o'clock.
Okay, it's not an emergency thing.
You know, no, it's not an emergency thing. But you can have more meetings, but if they're structured properly and that they're succinct, then it won't become meeting overload.
And I agree, and that's where online marketing technologies, for instance, come in. Again, just from my marketing perspective, but for all sides of the business, online technologies come in here. Because if everyone is on the same page and you have all of the tasks set out in a system, that everybody knows what's happening, I can imagine that the meetings can only take 9 minutes, because it's just bam, bam, bam. It's like, where are you? What's your current challenges? Let's quickly resolve this. Let's move on.
That's it. And don't allow that. Allow the water talk. Call the talk's really important, but not in a meeting.
No.
And that's where you have that facilitator who can ensure that the meeting stays on track of exactly what it's got to be.
I guess to sort of wrap it up quickly, do you have quick tips on what should be done before and after, from your expertise point of view?
Absolutely. The after, I guess, we can use technology. I'm a big fan of using stuff like Evernote or note-taking software to actually capture the meeting, either by video or audio. That's very, very easily done nowadays, and it's great for just being able to broadcast on demand that meeting again, should we need to replay it to the people that were there, or to expose the people that were not there to that same meeting.
You just download from your Google Play and...
That's right, most of them are free, stuff like Evernote, it's great. It allows you to just load it into your notepad or your smartphone, and away you go. You've got audio and visual sort of capture on demand. It's just great. Yeah. So that's a big thing for me. I love to always include other people that are not able to make it onto that meeting. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Stephan?
From my point of view, process. The meeting needs to be defined. Everybody needs to be trained on how that meeting is run, and it has to have clear outcomes. I think you need to definitely break up your meetings between your tactical and your operational, and then even another one later on once a year on strategic. Okay, keep them separate, keep them succinct, and train your people on how to actually attend the meeting.
Brilliant. Alicia?
From my side, I think it depends on how people like to take information in. I'm a visual person, so for me it's important at the end of a meeting to have some sort of diagram, or if we spoke about a specific campaign, then I would like to know this is the first part, then it sort of moves over here, it comes here, this part fits into here. So it's a little bit of a diagram, and it could be your own little drawing that you can hand out to the team for the rest of the visual people. Also, one of the other technologies I use is a sound note. Which can obviously record the meeting as well, because you get people that's very auditory, and then for them they can very easily listen back to meeting notes and just sort of if they wanted to go over it or wanted to make sure they've got all the information.
Brilliant.
I was just going to add one more. If people are interested in learning, and I learned most of my stuff, I guess, from Toastmasters. It's a great little platform, informal, couple of hours a week or a fortnight. Learn about leadership, meetings, timekeeping, all those sort of things from there. I'm not sure if you guys offer that sort of training as well. You do?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I thought Toastmasters was pretty much, speaking lessons.
Oh, you do get an opportunity to make presentations, but certainly all the other aspects about meetings as well, timekeeping, agenda, and whatever night, review, all those sort of things.
Is there anything that you want to add? So this guy, the travel agency, the staff hopes you're going to be very productive from the meetings by implementing one or two of the tips from each of you.
I think the thing that sort of underlines this is people need to know what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
They have to have a very, very clear, conscious idea of what their position's about, etc.
Yes.
Just to create a bit of controversy, like I said, I really don't believe that there should be an agenda. I think there should be a purpose, and the agenda built on the time. The problem with bringing agendas in before the meeting is people will sit there and think up stuff. Okay, and it might be just not really relevant, whereas if you build the agenda when the meeting happens, it's going to be stuff that's present, it really is causing an issue, and doesn't allow for that, biasing the meeting.
Okay. So agenda or no agenda? It's got to make it...
For me, I would need to learn how to do a dynamic agenda. I've always only fall back on sort of pre-established agenda, so only just main points, not in much detail. But I'm very open to learning, so please teach me how to do a dynamic agenda. I'm all for it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything that you want to add to finish up, or be good?
No, I think I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
That was a great discussion, wasn't it? Thank you to the panel for their time, and also for sharing their knowledge and expertise with us. If you're a small business owner and you've got challenges that you're facing in business, send them in to us and we'll get that addressed by a expert panel. Like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, watch the other case studies we put up, pick up a paper from 150 locations in Perth, and again, come along to our networking events that we run. I always say, when the right people come together, magic happens. See you next time.